Why do you rotate the ship before placing parts? Yeah, Rares, I get asked that a lot. The reason why I rotate is to make sure that world orientation is lined up. Is lined up with how I place things. It's a really easy way to make sure that everything is aligned correctly. So, like, say there's a case where I have to, let me think. I can't make something in symmetry, and I have to put stuff in symmetry. If I try to place this here, right? If we try to place a strut like this way, that's fine. It'll work. So I can place a strut here and place a strut there and make it look like radial symmetry, and it'll be fine. What happens if I have to place a strut at 45 degrees? But I need that strut to basically be 4x symmetry at 45 degrees. You're going to try to wiggle it in there. It's never going to be super precise. So I rotate, instead of trying to rotate the strut 45 degrees and place it, I rotate the entire capsule 45 degrees and then place the strut lined up with world orientation. So lined up on the axis here. So like this, it's lined up on that white line. And that actually makes it a lot easier to place things. You ever have to have a use case in Kerbal where you can't use symmetry, and either then the strut that you're placing doesn't come through correctly in symmetry? Yeah, that's why I do that. The funny thing is that real rockets are engineered like that. Most rockets are on some type of processing ring. And the processing ring, like a rocket stage, will be horizontal inside of a hangar, and they'll be able to rotate it. It's on a giant rotisserie. There's processing rings that rotate the thing around like a rotisserie chicken. It's kind of like that. All right, now I'm hungry. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, that's why I do it. So like, if you go in and you go into translate controls here, so like if I place this part, right? Yo, how's it going? Hey, I'm new to this game and I've never played the first one. It seems pretty overwhelming. I don't know anything about physics rockets. How do you learn to play this game for a newbie idiot? Oh, Fort, go to the training center. Go to the training center. There is a training center that is specifically there for you, for newer players. However, if you have questions, you can ask me. I've been playing KSP1 for a decade. Yeah. Like a lathe. Exactly, little guy. Yeah, bingo. Just like a lathe. Same exact idea. That's why I do it. To make sure that I'm doing the same operations every single time. Now, I do it a lot. I'm a lot more notorious for it in KSP. But, yeah. I like to make sure that... So if I take a battery and place it right here. Like... This is a good example. How do I know that this is going to be... Hey, where was those bits from? EJ Brimo Dog Fund. Oh, no. She's talking about it again. So, if I want to place this battery here, how do I know that that's going to be precise? How do I know? If I could take it... And we kind of did this with the chutes. It wasn't exactly precise. But if you hit F here, right? You see how it switched the gizmos to the world axis? I like to make sure your local object orientation and world object orientation is exactly the same when you go to place it. Okay? So if I wanted batteries at 45 here, what I would do is take this, we'd rotate it, make sure it's perfectly up and down, make sure that both of those are the same, and then go to place the part. That way I know that every single part was placed in a way that's easily replicable. So, like, replicatable, not replicable. I could do it again. And in KSP1, it pays to build everything in the same exact way. It absolutely pays off. Dog, bork. Yeah. So, yeah. Resh, that's why I do that. It's a habit. It's a good habit to get into. Just make sure you're doing the same operations every time when you place stuff. Now, I'll be honest, you can't do it in KSP2 as well as KSP1 because we don't have world axis orientation. You can't snap to these white lines. But that's something that's easily implementable and easily fixable. And you could be dang sure I talked to the devs about it 2 weeks ago. Yeah, oh yeah, they already know about that. Replica. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. Okay. All right, so that service module, I mean, we probably could do with more batteries, but I don't think we have fuel cells in the game. I don't think they're here. Electrical. Solar array. Oh, we do. Oh, I have fuel cells. Excelente. Sweet. We don't need solar panels then. Perfect. All right, so what we do is we take this and I rotate it off 15, right? See, like, this is another case right here where doing that would be right, because if I wanted my batteries the same distance from the center line, say we're trying to balance something, you wanted your battery and your fuel cell the exact same distance from the center line of the capsule, right? Rotating it 15 and then placing it will make sure that your fuel cells are all perfectly symmetrical to your batteries here. Now, we don't necessarily need to do that, but yeah, that would be a good example. See, they're perfectly spaced. Perfectly spaced, nice and neat. That's what you got. That's how you got to be when you build like real spacecraft, for instance. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't build real spacecraft. Maybe someday that would be kind of cool. But now, just Kerbal.